have today a very special guest today, someone who has always stood out to me as an amazing actor. From when I first seen him in Goodfellas, and I didn't know him at the time, I said, this guy is going to really be an amazing actor. And when I got to know Tony Darrow, not only is he a great friend, but it's just an honor to have him. And we've worked on 3 projects together, and it's so great to have him in Gravesend. I'm sure you, Tommy, you could give your look on what you think of Tony Darrow.
Well, also the very first time that I also saw you was on Goodfellas, and I thought your part was amazing. Somebody that came in, weren't one of the tough guys, but yet came in there and said what you had to say, and it blended really, really good. And I liked the whole bit. It was really good.
Well, the funny thing is with that is I wrote all my scenes.
Okay.
Every one of my scenes I wrote. And Scorsese just seemed to like me, What happened was I was appearing in Atlantic City performing, and I was headlining. I had my name on the highway with the billboards, and it was really great in the elevators in the hotels, and here I am, a headliner, and they're looking for me. Scorsese's people are looking for me because they saw me in a film called Street Trash,
okay,
which was a horror film that won a lot of awards, special effects awards, and it was the first film I did. So Lee Solomon calls me up. I'm at the Claridge Hotel. I'm doing 2 shows a night, 6 nights a week, and I do like an hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes each show. And I'm in a routine. You got to run on the boardwalk every day to keep your breathing going. And I sang it though. At that time, I didn't do comedy. And all of a sudden, I get a call from Lee Solomon about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm just going to go take a nap. And he said, they want to see you tomorrow at the Warner Brothers, the Rockefeller Center. And I said, who wants to see me? He says, Martin Scorsese. Now, this is going to sound stupid now, but I really didn't know who he was. I'm nightclubs.
Wow.
I know who the entertainment director is at Caesars. I know who your daughter is. I know when to send Christmas cards. I don't know, like Martin Scorsese, what does he do, really, Then all of a sudden I started remembering, he's a director. And
so before the acting, you were a singer.
I was a singer, and I did shtick. I always did comedy.
Gotcha.
That's why I do comedy now. I would like feelings, nothing more than feelings. Excuse me, so am I keeping you up? Would you like a blanket and a pillow? Oh, you enjoying yourself here? Tell your face about it, because you're scaring the shit out of me. That's the way I would. Then I go back to the song. That's
Gotcha.
the way I worked all the time. And it worked. In fact, or I'm getting ahead of myself. But anyway, he said, yeah, you got to come in and you got to audition for this movie Goodfellas. He said, I already sent the script to the office at the Claridge Hotel. He said, you got about 5 lines, 7 lines they wanted you to read for this audition. So I go, I'm not coming in. How am I going to get in there? I got to drive all the way. So no. You take the Trump helicopter, you land on 11th Avenue on water there, and then you take a cab to Warner Brothers.
Really?
Yeah. So I take the Trump helicopter and I go. And I'm really pissed. And I don't need the money. I'm making a lot of money in Atlantic City. So I get in the cab and I go there, and I walk in and I see this palatial office. My heart starts to pump a little bit. Like I said, this is pretty exciting. And as I'm saying that, what's her name? Jennifer Grey from Dirty Dancing?
Yeah.
She was reading for Lorraine Bracca's part.
Oh, wow.
She didn't get it, of course, but she read for it. And I said, that's that kid to myself from Dirty Dancing. I said, wow, this must be really important, So now Martin Scorsese walks out. Now I call him Marty. He's my buddy, No, he walks out with Ellen Lewis, the casting person. And she says, Tony Darrow, I said, this is Martin Scorsese. Now, when you don't need the money and you're not hungry, you're different. If I was starving and oh God, I got to get this job. You get all cotton mouth, you can't talk,
Nervous.
And I wasn't nervous at all because I didn't want to be there.
Yeah,
and I'm making big money in Atlantic City, and I don't think I'm going to get this piece of shit anyway. I didn't know what it was, right? So she says, say hello to Martin Scorsese. He sticks out his hand, and I swear, You could curse, right?
Go ahead.
So he sticks out his hand. I go, don't give me your fucking hand, you cocksucker. I don't get this role. You and the brother going out the window. You know where the fuck I had to come from? I swear, I got a big article. I got a whole newspaper article, the Daily News. So he goes like this.
That's crazy.
And my whole life passed in front of me. I said, you idiot, you blew it. This is not nightclubs. And all of a sudden he goes like this. Jesus Christ, this is what I'm looking for. He says, everybody comes up here, they can't talk, they can't do this, they can't. He says, you're a fucking natural, right? Now, he don't go behind his desk like
It's because you were so relaxed.
Right. He don't go behind his desk, he sits over there. And he sits, he don't go sit over there, he sits next to me. And he's slapping me on the leg, and I'm going,
wow.
He said, so what else have you done besides street trash? I go, what do you mean, what else? I didn't do nothing. I don't know. I never did a movie before, just that street trash. I did a friend of mine a favor. He said, you don't have to read. You're going to be Sonny Bamboo. At that time, it was Sonny Bamboo, the Bamboo Lounge, right? Which I got another story about because I worked at Bamboo Lounge 30 years ago before that.
You got cast on the spot.
I got
on the
cast
spot. No waiting for the phone call.
Nothing.
No.
Right.
That is.
Right. So
that's amazing.
He says, you're going to be Sonny Bamboo. Now, Sonny Bamboo was Paulie Vario's brother-in-law, the Don of the Lucchese family.
Yeah. Okay. And
Paulie didn't like Sonny Bamboo, even though it was his brother-in-law, because he slapped his sister. And it was just a matter of time before they dug a hole for him. But at that time, Sonny said, I don't want him to use Sonny Bamboo. That's my name. I don't want it. It was his nickname, but he didn't want it. So they changed it to Sonny Buns, right? Okay. And 30 years before that, no, not 30 years, 5-6 years before that, I worked the Bamboo Lounge. I sang there.
Right? Wow. And the Bamboo Lounge was in Canarsie. Where was it?
It was in Canarsie, on Rockaway Parkway.
All right, yeah.
And right near the Belt Parkway, about 4 blocks off the Belt Parkway. So Marty says, you got the part. And then they changed my name from Sonny Bamboo to Sonny Buns. Now I go back to Atlantic City and I'm doing my show. And I look in the paper, I see De Niro's cast for this, Paul Sorvino's cast for this, Ray Liotta's cast for this, Joe Pesci. I don't see my name. Me, fucking idiot. I think I'm supposed to be in a newspaper. I never did a fucking movie in my life, right? So I call up Lee Solomon. I don't want to do this movie. He said, why? Where's my name? I got names all over Atlantic City. My name is not in the paper. Tony, it's your second fucking movie, he said. The first movie was a shit movie. It wasn't even, wasn't a studio movie. This is a big time thing. You got to do it. I don't want to do it, I said. All right, my name has got to be in the paper. You're doing this movie. He yelled at me, right? So sure enough, that's how that started. Now, Marty just loved me. For some reason, he really liked me. So, remember the scene when I'm sitting there like this, my tie is open, and De Niro and Liotta and Pesci are behind me, and the lawyer's there, and I'm in my office, and we rehearsed this, and it's all lines. They got lines. Like I sit there like this. Jeez. And they're supposed to say, well, what are you moaning for? We got to get the fuck out of here. Sign the paper before I crack you in the mouth, whatever the lines were. So I'm sitting and I'm going, these bastards are raping me. They're taking my fucking living away, my livelihood. So Marty says action. I went, what a fucking shame. He said, cut, that's it.
That's it, yeah.
So De Niro, I don't know him. He goes, oh, you did one movie, you're taking our fucking lines away already? He said, who the fuck do you think you are? I went like this. Because, he's a big star.
Yeah.
I don't want to upset him, but he was kidding, Next, and I did the next scene. Then he calls me in his trailer with Sorvino, when I do treat me like a half a fag, and Lamister and MIA and all that. They want me, what do you want to do? Kill this guy? Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea. Yeah. I wrote all that. Marty made me write all them scenes.
Wow.
Now there were certain phrases that guys use, like in Manhattan. If you got a watch, they call it a fugazi. In East New York, where I came from, in Brooklyn, you're from Gravesend. I don't know, the kid, of course, was your son. But when you're in Brooklyn, there are different phrases that they use that they don't use in Manhattan and in Queens, because it's the neighborhood shit,
Right.
So, we used to say half a fag because we don't want to make the guy a real fag. So he's a half a fag.
Yeah.
And Lamister was always a big thing in my neighborhood. Where you been? What are you on fucking land? What are you, a fucking Lannister? Supposed to be here yesterday. So that's where that came from. And I wrote all of that. And Marty let me go. He just loved what I did.
That's
Did
cool.
you know at that point, because we know that was Vinny Pastore's, I think, first movie too.
Yeah, he wields a card, and they called him the suit man.
Did you know him at that time? Or did you,
No,
so
but
you
he
didn't know
had,
him
just,
till
he had
afterwards?
just started.
Yeah, yeah,
Vinny had just started. And he wields the coats, and then he's
yeah.
pulling the coats.
But you didn't meet him. You never met him on Goodfellas.
No.
Then.
No, I didn't meet him that day either because he just walked by. And Ray Liotta's walking by, and I wrote that too. Hey, Ray goes, "Hey, Sonny, where do you want me to put the coats?" And I go, "Coats, it's the middle of the fucking summer. You're bringing me coats. I need suits."
Yeah.
He goes, "Well, what do you want me to do? Take them away?" No. Put them in the freezer with the meat. I wrote that, the freezer with the meat. You know?
That's great.
Yeah. It was like, Marty just let me go. He was
That's
unbelievable.
awesome.
Yeah.
And look at where it went from there. You know, from Goodfellas, you just kept going. And you know that Woody Allen. That's one movie that I don't know if a lot of people know about, but Small Time Crooks with you. I mean, you stole the show there. You were excellent in that. And obviously, Woody Allen, you know, he really seen your talent.
And I don't know about his personal life. I don't know about all that bullshit. But let me tell you something. He was the greatest director. Him and Marty were the greatest directors in the world because they let you go. Like you do. You do the same thing. Like if you see a guy is locking in on something, you don't say, "Tony, that wasn't the line." You let it go because, hey, that was real. That was
That's what we
good.
want.
And
That's
when
what
you
we
see a Scorsese movie and a Woody Allen movie, what's the first thing you say? Wow, these guys are so natural.
That's the thing. Real people.
You know why? Because here, I'll give you a good example. A writer would write, "Oh, geez, it's an honor to be in your presence. I'm so overwhelmed by your company." Who the fuck talks like that? I don't do that.
Nobody.
"Hey, pal, you know what? I'm so glad to meet you. And later, let's have a cigar together." And I shake your hand. That's how I talk. I just said the same thing, but I said it in my own
In your way.
You know what it is, Tony. What, like as I find with casting these days, especially, it's not easy to find the real street guys that can also act and put it like they. You got the lingo. You know the walk, the talk. You come from Brooklyn. You're originally from Brooklyn. You've been around, and you just. And I say this when I looked at Gravesend recently, and I watch you. You always stand out. And I'm not just saying it because you're right here.
Appreciate
it. You can't deliver a bad line. And I can't wait till people get to
Well, I don't
really
think
see
I
you
can
in
do
person.
Shakespeare, but this I could do because I was brought up in the streets, and you know, my father's dead, but my father was a wise guy. My father was a good fellow, and I was brought up in it. You know, when I was a kid, I used to go see my dad in the can all the time. He did a lot of time, and it's natural for me. It's not like I have to think about it. I don't think about it. This is what I'm doing now. It's what I do. You know, I just do it. And it's acting because if you're not acting, then it's real. And I really think it's real sometimes. Like, you know, when he said to me, "What do you want me to do? Kill this guy, Paul?" Yeah, that wouldn't be a fucking bad idea. I really wanted him to whack him. Then I realized, that's the Godfather. I can't do that. Well, I'm sorry. And I wanted to say one thing, and I never could get it out, and it pissed me off. Instead of saying he scares me, I wanted to say I'm scared.
I'm scared.
Because that's what the guys in the neighborhood say. I'm scared. They didn't say he scares me. And it never came out. Never came out. It always came out, he scares me.
Yeah, and then also you had a great run on The Sopranos. We both worked The Sopranos together, but you had a great run with that, you know. And I know you became very close with James Gandolfini,
Right.
and he really, you guys were really tight.
And I sang the Lord's Prayer at his funeral, you know, at the funeral parlor in Jersey. But Jimmy loved me, and I loved him. It's the nicest, sweetest man you ever met in your life. He was very high-powered guy. You know, he loved people, and he always liked to tell him jokes before we started to rehearse. Like when we did table readings, tell me a joke. He loved it.
That'd be his way of loosening up.
Yeah, so I'm on a film in, I did 6 Woody Allen movies in a row, but the one that I did, Small Time Cooks, I had one of the leads. But
I
getting
can
back,
see that. I haven't seen that.
yeah, it's funny,
You gotta
very
see the
funny.
movie.
Yeah.
No, he's very funny.
So I'm in Detroit. I'm doing a film called To Kill the Irishman, not The Irishman, To Kill the Irishman. And I had about 7 or 8 scenes. I only wound up with 2 because I got arrested. I got pinched. And that's it. We got time?
Yo, do it. Go. Let's do it.
So I'm on the set, and I get a call at 5 o'clock in the morning, which is when they call you. And on my cell phone. We're at your front door, and we don't want to wake your wife and kid up, so come out, or we're going to break the door down. And I go, hey, Steve, what are you out of your fucking mind? We just went to bed, and you're breaking my bar. I thought it was Steve Sharippa, because we just went to...
He was in the scene, too.
We went to the Detroit Tigers game. So I thought it was Steve Sharippa. So I said, go fuck yourself, and I hang up the phone. My cell phone. 2 seconds later, you motherfucker, who the fuck do you think? This is the FBI. We'll kick your fucking door down. We don't give a shit about your wife and your kid and all that. I'm going, Mink, they're serious. This ain't Steve Sharippa. So I go, whoa, take it easy. I said, who are you? This is the FBI. I said, what do you want from me? What do I want from you? I said, yeah, what do you want from me? He says, open your door. I said, I felt like saying this, but I didn't. I said, I'm in Detroit. I want to fucking film. I'm at the Westin Hotel. You are? Yeah. What's the phone number there? I look on the real phone, and I give him the phone number. Hang up your cell phone. I hang up my cell phone. Sure, bring, they call me, right? Now that I'm in Detroit, I felt like saying, that's how fucking smart you are that you know.
I
didn't want to say it because now I'm a little worried. I don't even know what the fuck I did.
Yeah, you didn't even know you're getting pinched.
I don't know what I did yet. So they said, so you're coming home tomorrow morning. I said, I ain't coming home tomorrow. I got another 3 weeks. You dirty cocksucker, you're coming home now. We'll stop you in every fucking federal prison. Now I know it's federal, too. I said, oh, federal. And they will. They'll put you in a pattyway, and they'll stop you in the federal prison in Detroit. Then one in Cleveland. Then one in Chicago. Then one in Boston. And they'll take you all around until they get you home just to punish you because you challenged them. You come home tomorrow morning, and we won't arrest you at the airport. We'll have 2 guys meet you. I still don't know what I did. I had an idea, but I wasn't sure because I said, how the fuck? That's nothing what I did. So anyway, I pack all my fucking bags. I tell the director that I got to go home because my wife had a reaction to medicines, which was a bipolar. Not this wife, my other wife. I've been married so many times I got rice marks on my face. So I get on the plane and I go home, and sure enough, when I get to LaGuardia Airport, boom, they're there. I go to get my bags. As soon as they put me in the car, they handcuff me to the floor with the chain like this, and I can't move. I said, so what is this? Oh, you talk to my boss. My boss will tell you everything. He's a nice guy. You just tell him everything. Tell him what? Just tell him. I said, I don't talk to nobody unless I get my lawyer. All right? They took me to some satellite office, and they're questioning me. I'm saying, okay, what now? MDC, they bring me. They bring me to MDC 3 weeks. Right? And they won't give me my medicines because I'm a diabetic.
They're supposed to give you your medicine.
They won't give them to me. And I need it. I'm a diabetic. My mouth was all chalks.
That's terrible.
And I kept, now I start yelling. But the great thing, this is really good. They put me in a cell 5 times the size of this, not the cell, a holding area. I'm still in my street clothes. I had a jogging suit on. And jammed. You couldn't even sit anywhere. Guys are like this. A lot of Spanish guys, a lot of black guys, a lot of Chinese. And I noticed next to me, right here, there's a seat. And here's the toilet bowl. And there's nobody sitting here. I don't know why. I was never in the camp. So I go sit down. All of a sudden, this big black guy goes and takes a crap right next to me. I went, Jesus Christ almighty, what the fuck rolled up your ass? Right? I jump up. It's terrible, you know? He said, what you want me to do, man? I got to shit. I said, okay, well, at least, let me know. Don't let nobody know. Okay. So now, at the other end of the cell, of this big cell, is a 7-foot guy. He says, some guy's talking. He says, ain't you so-and-so? He said, who are you asking me who I am? I hear the conversation. What are you, a fucking rat? He goes, No, man, I know your brother. I was in Fort Dix with him. He told me to say hello to you. We're going to be here. What's my brother's name? Tells. Oh, so now they know each other. He said, you from East New York? Right, so I hear East New York. Wow, I got a hook now because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Right? So I wait until he's done with the conversation. I walk over. I go, listen, my name is Tony. How are you? He don't shake my hand. He says, you're a mafia guy, right? I go, no. Yeah, you a mafia guy. I'm not a mafia guy. I'm a movie actor. He said, I knew you. Right? That's what he said. I knew you. He said, you know who was talking? What's your name? I told him my name. He said, you know who was talking about? And he mentions a guy that was away with him in Norway. A boss. He mentioned you. He said, I'm going to take care of you. You're going to be my cellie. I said, wow, this is good.
And what year was this?
12 years ago, 13 years ago.
Okay.
I don't know. So you stay next to me. He says, if they try to separate you, don't separate. You stay with me. Now I'm saying, this big black guy, 7 foot tall, wants me to be his cellie. He's going to try to fuck me. That's what we go change. They give me a jumpsuit and all that shit. And sure enough, I'm the cellie. He said, you sleep up on the bottom, I'll sleep on top because you'll never get up there. So, and I told him, I think I was 71 then or something like that. And sure enough, he took care of me, man. But I slept like this the first night. I kept looking around this guy, and it's terrible. Just
They
terrible.
held you for 3 weeks, Tony?
Huh?
Yeah. They held you for 3 weeks?
3 weeks. And you got to see at night the mice, the fucking cockroaches. And fucking.
How long was it before they actually told you what you were there for?
Oh, they told me then, when they got me.
And you lawyered up right away?
Oh, yeah, I called my lawyer right away. He got me out. I'm there.
And speaking of that, if it's okay to talk about, I mean, you helped someone out with that. Am I correct? You just did it for a friend a favor. Is it something we?
Yeah, owed somebody money, and I went and asked for help, and cocksucker gave me up. But anyway.
Guilty by association.
Yeah. But they don't want me. They want to know who you are. They want to know who you are. They want to know who he is. Because they knew I knew. You know. Ain't happened.
Well, you're a stand-up guy, and we know that's.
But anyway, now it cost me like almost $200,000 for lawyers for nothing. So Jimmy finds out about it, Gandolfini, and he goes and throws this big party for me at the Brownstone in Paterson, New Jersey. The room seats 400 people. We had 550. You were there. You brought a big table.
Yeah, a couple tables,
and 16-piece orchestra. All the New Jersey housewives. Danny Aiello, Uncle Junior, Vinny Pistori, who's sick again. He's always sick when he's got to do something.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
You're always sick, you bastard. You lying fuck. Anyway, he's my buddy. I love him. I said Danny Aiello. Everybody was there. All the Sopranos.
Soprano cast, yeah.
Yeah, Federico. Everybody. I can't remember. Anyway, and I had 8 comics roast me. They chopped me up real bad, and they chopped Jimmy up. One of the comedians goes, Jimmy Gandolfini. He was up for the role of Spider-Man, right? That fat fuck, you think he was going to get Spider-Man? He's lucky he got Sopranos. And Uncle Junior sleeps in a coffin, right? Oh, but they did. They chopped up. But it was a great night.
I remember Vic DiBitetto went off that night. Vic, because who's a part of our cast too. Vic went crazy that night. Vic was so mad. He came in angry.
And I'm so proud of that kid because, I had an agency too. I booked entertainment in the mountains. I used to pay him $500. Guy's making like $15,000 a show now.
Wow, he's doing great. He does very well.
Yeah.
He does
He's
very well.
funny.
My real name is, of course, is not Tony Darrow. My real name is Nunzio Antonio Borghese.
Hey.
But when I was a kid growing up in East New York, they didn't say that. My name was Anthony Borghese. So Anthony Borghese was a showbiz, and my cousin said, you got to have a showbiz name that rings that people could remember. And in those days, when I was a kid, you needed a cabaret card in order to perform, a license. Like a driver's license with your picture on it. If you were a convicted felon, you don't work nightclubs.
Oh, wow.
And you had to show that card before you performed in there. And I was lucky I never got in trouble, which I never did.
And at what age, Tony, because, we're all Brooklyn, this is all Brooklyn as we see right here. What age how long did you live in Brooklyn as a kid? From what age to what age?
I was born and raised on New Lots Avenue in Ashford Street, right the last stop on the IRT. And I lived there until I went to high school, the East New York Vocational High School. And then the neighborhood really started going bad. There was a lot of Hasidic people in our neighborhood. And then it just started going deteriorating. So we moved to Howard Beach.
But as a kid, how great was it to grow up in Brooklyn and to have your friends in front of the street and playing and sitting on the stoop?
There was nothing like it. No one locked their
Can't-
doors. My mother was
can't
safe wherever she went. My grandmother would get on the bus and come home at midnight shopping in Brownsville. Nobody would ever bother with her. And that's one thing about the wise guys. They protected everybody. I remember one time one of the Italian kids was picking on a Hot City kid. And one of the wise guys lost his shoe up his ass. He said, "You son of a bitch, if that was the other way around, what would you do? Now go get your fucking father so I can kick him in the ass. You leave that kid alone. He's from this neighborhood." And we learned that.
That's what, yeah.
We protected the neighborhood.
Wow.
I always say that on Avenue U back in the day, a woman could walk with $100 taped to her forehead and no one would
No
touch
one
her.
would touch it. It's exactly right. The world has changed. It's so bad now. Everything, I'm not
Really
getting into
is.
politics, but what's happening with China and Russia, if they ever get together, well, who knows if there'll be another world war? You know what they're going to have to do? They're going to have to get the wise guys to fix it. Because they can fix it, believe me.
I remember when James Gandolfini, that party, that event that you had, and I got to say one thing about James. I watched him there, and he stood and signed autographs and took pictures with every single person that was there.
He was the last one.
He was swamped. There was literally an army of people around him, and that man did not say no to one person for Tony. That's the way his personality was, but he wanted to back Tony up, and I got to tell you, he was. That was
You just choked me up.
It's the truth, man. We miss him. I
No.
mean, another.
No. What he did.
Yeah.
I'll never
That's what
forget.
friends do, man. That's what friends do. I mean,
And a
it's
lot of
loyalty.
guys I
It's
don't want to mention, not as nice as Jimmy on the actors. I need a limo. He said, "What limo? This guy's going to the can. He needs every penny he can get. You want a limo? Get in the fucking car and get there." He made them all go.
I know that was a tough time which you went through, Tony. But
It was terrible.
You rebounded like I knew you would, and everyone did. We worked together in Once Upon a Time in Brooklyn when you played the role of Patsy Parati, which Paul Borghese directed.
That's my cousin. You got the same name.
Yeah.
And I want to say something about you, if I may. You are amazing. You are you're going to be very famous because of a lot of things. You're an excellent actor, great actor,
Thank you.
but you're also a great director. You're a great writer. You're a producer. And you do everything all by yourself. Nobody helped you. You did this all you raised fucking money like I never seen before. You should have been a Don today. You should have been the Godfather. Because you know how to hustle. You know how to get people to believe in you. And once they see what you do, it's worth investing in you.
No,
It's true.
thank you. I appreciate that.
No, it's true.
Well,
Like the other when we did the scenes outside in the golf course, all of a sudden he comes up and he goes, "Listen, it's going to be drones flying over you." I go, "What? How the fuck do you like to do drones?" He's got fucking drones flying over us. Now wait until you're going to see it over there, and then it's going to come. When it gets over here, that's when you start to. And I mean, he did it, and you too, you little prick. You did a hell of a fucking job, and you learned it from Dad.
Yeah.
Thank you. And what advice, Tony, could you give to a young actor like my son Christian? What advice would you give him as a young actor coming up? We'd love to hear it from
Be
him.
prepared. Don't let anybody upstage you. If you know your lines and you know them backwards and you know his lines, you can't miss. Because you're a good-looking kid. You're sharp. You got what it takes, and you got your dad behind you to help you walk through it. But you must know your lines backwards and forwards. That's the most
Preparation is
important.
everything.
Huh?
Preparation is everything.
Yeah, preparation. Be prepared. It's like a ball player. The greatest ball players are the ones that work the hardest before a game and off season. Those are the ones that. It's the same thing with acting. I'm not educated. I'm smart, but I just made it through high school. So I have to work much harder than like Jimmy Gandolfini has a photographic memory. He had one. God bless you. He could go like this and read 15 pages. Just go, then go to the next page, and he remembers everything.
That's
I
incredible.
gotta fucking study, and I gotta remember, and I can't stand when like David Chase is a good man and a nice man, but you can't change one line. You change one line, you're going to come back and fix it. And I'll show you what happened. And we're at the bada bing, we're all up on top, and the girls are dancing underneath us, and I'm with Jimmy's there and who's ever around. And I go, wait, Uncle Junior sees this, he's going to get, and he wants me to say, he's going to get a coronary. Wise guys don't even know what coronary means.
Yeah.
They never heard that in their fucking lives.
Yeah.
He's gonna croak. He's gonna get a fucking heart attack. He's gonna bust a fucking goiter. That's what they would say. So I said to the director, coronary, it don't work. He goes, but that's what he wants you to say. I said, all right, can we do one that way and one my way? Yeah, all right. So I go coronary, then I go, he's gonna croak, or whatever the line was I said, which was natural, it was good. Do you know he called me up in my car? He says, tomorrow you come back and change that fucking line. I told you don't change one fucking line.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
The only guy that could change the line was Jimmy. Of anybody, Lorraine, nobody, only Jimmy could change lines because he had pages and pages of stuff. And like him, this fucking kid, you got a photographic memory, right?
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
You remember a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he's got a lot of lines and
Right.
he never drops a line.
No, thank you.
Yeah. No, I'm
Thank you.
proud of you. I really
Thank
am.
you so much. When you first started that, Tone, did you think The Sopranos was going to wind up being when it first happened? Because you started
Well,
pretty early
here's
on.
another story. So now I did 6 Woody Allen movies in a row, and I got 2 or 3 scenes in each one. Nothing great, but it was good enough for me. And then they call up William Morris' office, and they said they want me to star in a film. And I just did Goodfellas. I just did Sopranos, first season. I didn't know how big it was going to be. Nobody knew. So I said to Lee, what do I do? He said, what do you mean, what do you do? He says, Woody gave you, this is your 6th one, and he's giving you the lead. Your loyalty is to Woody, not to, you don't know if this thing is going to
Right,
work
something
or not.
that's new that you don't know where
So-
it's going to go.
He tells David Chase's people he can do it, but he can't do it in August. He can do it starting in September. Then fuck him, I don't want him. He got mad. And if you notice, I was out for 2 seasons.
Oh yeah, when they said that yes. Wow.
Right. He took me out of it
Okay,
for
now
2
we find
seasons
that
to
out.
punish
Wow, I
me.
never knew that.
To punish me.
Wow.
Then he puts me
yes.
back. I did 8 of the 10 instead of the 10 seasons. And when I put me back, you know what he did? My lawyer's here, I'm here, Uncle Junior's lawyer's here, and there's Uncle Junior. And all I do is go like this. On purpose, he did it. All I do is go like this. No lines. He wouldn't give me a fucking line. He thought I was going to walk off, but I wouldn't. Just like Vinny. He told Vinny, don't take no jobs. Vinny took other jobs. 2 seasons took him out. Federico, same thing. He killed him because Federico was bringing people on the set that David Chase didn't like. He told him once and he did it again, and he took him off.
Wow.
Oh, I didn't know that about
Yeah.
you. That's why you weren't there for.
Wow.
What movie did you wind up doing?
Small Time
That's
Cooks.
all you, well, you had to take that.
I had to take
Come on.
it. Well, everybody knows that, but according to David Chase, you got to do what I
And
tell
you were through the main. You were through the whole entire movie of Small Time Crooks.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun too, and he lets you ad lib. Oh, so here's what I wanted to say. I think I said it. Woody and Marty worked the same way. They let you go. No script. Here's the script. You looked at it. Now put it over there. Okay. Okay. You know where to end it? We're going to end it with I cruised. That's the last line. As long as we get the last line in. Okay. So go ahead. You're sitting down at the table and you're talking about the cigar and you're talking about the good-looking kid and you're talking about. Go ahead. So I go, this fucking kid is really good-looking. I didn't say, do you know something? I was thinking that maybe this kid, if he cut his, no, he's
Right.
good looking. That's it. That's what the writer wants you to say. Get to it, and you do your stuff.
Exactly.
You don't have to.
drag it out.
Drag it out. When you see Marty and you see a Woody Allen movie, it's natural. That's what the secret is, as far as I'm concerned. And there was one other great
It's
actor.
more authentic that way.
Right. The guy that directed Analyze This.
Harold Ramis.
Great.
I love
director.
Harold. I worked
Great
with him and Analyze
fucking
that and
director.
Analyze that.
Right.
Yeah. That was great. Well, you worked right across from Chaz Palminteri, who again now
Right.
you're working together with in Gravesend. If there was a director, Tony, that you didn't work with yet, that you could, there was one more director that you could choose from that you haven't worked with out of anyone, who would you look up to and want to be in one of their films?
William DeMeo.
Well, you're with me. Thank you.
I know. I'm serious. You're going to be a
Thank
big
you.
star. You're going to be bigger than U.S. Steel.
Thank you.
I'm serious because you got balls like a fucking Bengal tiger. I never seen anything like it.
Well, I appreciate it. And we're so excited because we, people like you and Tommy and our whole cast and everyone to game together, we feel like it's a family. And what we were talking about, we were just talking about all those movies, the Goodfellas and the Bronx Tales and the Analyze This and Analyze That. For those decades, there was so many great movies, and it seems like the last 10, 15 years we lost those. Since The Sopranos, I felt like there's a complete void. Even for Italian-American actors, there's not even many auditions for us. There's hardly anything
It's true.
that we used
Well,
to
you
do.
know, Screen Actors Guild sends you a thing every year to vote. I have to vote on what best supporting actor, best lead, best female, and you vote on it. That the Screen Actors vote on it, and I don't know anybody. I don't know any of the actors. I never heard of them. I don't know. So what I do is I watch them because I want to be legit,
Right.
and I vote for people that I know because if they're that good, like I think this guy that did The Whale. Did you see
Brendan
it?
Fraser.
Oh my God! What a
Fantastic.
fucking job he did.
Fantastic.
He was put up for. Did
Yeah, he won.
He did win.
He
He
won.
won.
Yeah. I thought, oh my God.
That was his comeback movie.
And you know
Yeah.
what I thought was terrific the year before? The rock singer.
Oh, Lady Gaga.
No. They got killed with the teeth.
um,
Queen.
um,
The group Queen.
Right. Yes.
The kid that played the lead.
Oh.
Rami Malek.
Yes. Unbelievable. But no, there's no more. It'll all come back. It's going to make a full circle
of
now.
course.
You
Well,
know?
that's why I think that people are excited for Gravesend, because we bring that back. We have the old school and
Well, look at the actors that you got in there, man. You got.
It's an arsenal
Yes.
of great talent.
no.
Let me
It
see if I
really
can.
is.
If I leave one, I'm out because. But you got Armand Asante, William Forsythe, Chaz Palminteri, Andrew Dice Clay, Fran Dresser, Gina Gershon.
And we also have Sophia Milos in there too. Sophia Milos.
I don't remember her.
She's the one that played in the Sopranos, the Italian woman in Italy.
Oh yeah, she's beautiful.
She's phenomenal.
Yeah,
We got Mario
She's a knockout.
Cantone.
Mario Cantone. He was in my first film. One of my first films.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I did so many.
Yeah.
I think it was called Writer's Block. I kill him in the basement.
Yeah, Mario's great.
And also, what's his name? Arthur Nascarella was in that too. We killed
Arthur's
him in
great,
the
too.
basement.
I love Arthur.
Yeah.
Got Louis Lombardi.
Louis Lombardi, yeah, Louis Fenaria. We could just keep,
Yeah, who else? So you know,
Joseph D'Onofrio.
right.
A lot of great people.
Chris Tardio.
Chris Momando.
Tardio, Chris Morano,
Marco.
Oh,
Bruce Ocean.
what's his name? The guy that wrote
Martin Cole? We got Martin
No, he's
Cole.
talking about Green Book. Green Book.
Green Book. The guy that wrote
Nick
Green
Valano.
Book. What's his name?
Nick.
Nick.
Nick Vallelonga.
Valalongo. Yeah,
He's great, too.
You had some good actors in there.
And his brother Frank,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
God rest his soul.
Is there anything you want to ask Tony? Because we didn't really get
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, out of
Don't ask me for fucking money like you did in the lobby, you cocksucker. What?
out of singing, comedy, and acting, what would you say was like?
Okay, now people might take this wrong, but it's the way I feel. Being on stage and singing, and you could sing like "I love you" and "I need you" and "Don't ever leave me," and you can make someone cry, right? And then all of a sudden, oh, the shark has pearly teeth, did right, and then make them clap along. Right after that, they were crying, and then you get a standing ovation at the end of your show. It's like the building collapsed. If anybody uses drugs, they got to be crazy because that's the best drug in the world. You get so fucking high from it.
Wow.
Now, acting, I love, but it's not as exciting at all. It gets boring and it's tiring. And I go look at the dailies like I'm gonna go see what I did.
Yeah, right
show.
now we'll go see.
And I look and I go, look, fucking crow's feet under his fucking eyes over there. You got a hair sticking out over here. You should have didn't makeup see that. You fucking dope. I told you don't go this way. Your nose looks big this way. It looks better this way. And I'm so fucking critical. Am I keeping you guys up? I'm so critical of what's going on. And it gets boring after a while. I mean, you don't really have to be a rocket scientist. You just got to remember that you're hungry. You want this better than he does, and you're going to show him that you want it better than him. And if you're working 15 hours on that fucking same scene, it's got to be like the first time you did it. You got to really be up for it. Don't let anybody beat you. Just like if I slapped you in the face, what would you do? You slap me back. No matter what, you fucking slap me back. No matter who I am. So if I slapped you in the face, you got to slap me back. It's the same thing on the set. Don't let anybody one-up you. You don't be cocky. You don't be a punk. You don't be a wise guy. Be respectful. But know your fucking job. If you know your job, nobody can take it from you. Nobody. I don't give a fuck who it is. I don't give a and you want to know something? When you work with De Niro and you work with Pacino and you work with all Armand and Son, I'll tell you what I do with Armand. You remember. You're going to crack up. They make you work better. First of all, they ain't wise guys. I know what wise guys are. But they ain't going to fucking act like a wise guy over me. You know? I mean, if it's a different... You know, I played doctors. I played lawyer. I played a half a nut once. But you can't... If it's street and mob, you ain't going to... That's me. I know what the fuck I'm doing.
Exactly.
Don't try to... You know, if you take a guy from Peoria, he's going to fucking try to talk like I talk in the street. It ain't happening. But if you're ready and you're together, oh yeah, when we did Woody Allen, when we did Small Time Crooks, they were going to fire John Lovitz.
Really?
Because he couldn't keep up with me and Michael Rappaport with the street talk, the New York talk. But Woody is so smart. What he did was he wrote in that he was in jail with him in California and he was a safe cracker. So he brought him to New York to crack the safe. That's how he got him to talk his regular way.
Right.
You know, he's very smart.
It was so funny, Small Time Crooks, like I said.
I got to see that now.
Yeah, well, you know what is, Tony? You got the respect from the people in the acting world and the street. So many people.
Oh, and here's another thing. Any advice, if anybody that sees this here, and especially for you, you got to be what you are. You can't be something you're not. You can't just change just because the camera went on. You got to be here. It's got to come from here. And if you keep that in mind, don't try to overact. Don't try to underact. And small is big on camera. See, I came from nightclubs, so I was just, my first film, I was going, oh my God. I went, oh my God, I'm out of the fucking camera. I got to stay here. I got to stay small. And less is more. Like, this guy's like, that's a nice shirt. All you got to do is go like that, and you know it's not a nice shirt when I, you know. So there's little things that you could do as an actor, which you pick up. And De Niro helped me a lot. Like, I'm sitting here, I remember this, and the camera's there. So he goes, Tony, what? Turn this way. Now you got your whole kisser on the fucking camera. He said, you don't have many scenes, so take advantage of what you got. And he's so nice, you know, helped me so much. He really did. And he was really a nice man until he started getting political, which, you know, he's still a nice man, but you got to stay away from that shit. You know, it's not your business.
And it's funny that you say that less is more, because I did a movie called Laugh Killer Laugh.
Hey, I was talking. What the fuck you interrupted?
So anyway, Tony, Willie and Christian, I did a movie called Laugh, Kill or Laugh with William Forsythe. And we're sitting around a card table, the guys that were, talking, waiting for William Forsythe, that his character was something Stone, John Stone. And as he walked in, I had no talking lines, but I put myself in that position of, if this was real. Yeah. And as he walked over to the table, I just took my left foot and I kicked his chair out a little bit because he had to come in for a sit down, and I just kicked it out enough, and I didn't even realize I did that. All of a sudden, 2 days later, I get a phone call, and they said, that was brilliant. Yeah. And I says, what? They says, the way that you kicked out that chair.
Foot got 3 more jobs.
And I didn't even realize I did it, but it just came natural and just something that small. And I got that phone call over.
Here's one more thing I'm going to give you advice on, and your father and him will tell you the same thing. Don't ever knock anybody. Don't ever agree with someone if you don't agree with it. If he says, he's a real prick, say, hey, he's always nice to me. I don't voice my opinion about that shit. And don't knock anybody on the set, because it'll get back at you. Your job, you don't shit where you eat.
Professional.
It's very important. You know how many actors, stars, they get on the set and they were on the set for 3 months with each other, and they fall in love, and they break up their family and their homes, and it's not worth it. It never works. It never works. If you remember that, it's like Street. You hear the guy's a fucking hot, he's a rat. How do you know he's a fucking rat? Did you see him? Did you see he was a... why are you saying that? You keep your mouth shut and mind your business. Don't get into that crap. People are jealous too.
It's all positivity here. That's
yes, yeah. And you are a brilliant young actor.
Thank you.
You're really good to watch. Yes.
I've been fortunate enough to go to many of Tony's shows, and he always...
You booked me at the Mount Airy Casino.
Yes, Mount Airy Casino.
And we sold out.
Yes.
Yeah, you can find all my stuff on YouTube. And social media's got everything. All my films, whatever I've done.
And what's it under? Tony Darrow?
No, Irving Schwartz, you schmuck. No, of course.
You guys wait till you see Tony Darrow in Gravesend. He delivers like there's no tomorrow, like he always does. And we will be doing more shows. And Tony's, I know we're probably gonna have you at the Governor's too, Comedy Club, which we talked about.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, well, my man there.
Ozzy's gonna set that up. Tony always delivers. We really appreciate you, Tony, today. I know you have to be somewhere
I do stuff like, I'll do one of my jokes. You want to hear one of them? Godfather calls the head man and he says, Anthony, go in the bathroom and jerk off. And when you're done, I want to see it. He says, why? It's because I told you to. Get in there. So he goes in, he comes out, he's got it in a napkin. He says, here, Godfather. He says, that's good. Go do it again. He says, but I don't understand. He said, get in there and do it again. Goes in, he comes out, he's got it in a napkin. That's good. Go do it one more time. Poor Bassett's in there 20 minutes. He comes out. He's got a little drop in the napkin. He says, that's good. Drive my daughter to Brooklyn.
That one never gets old. I love it. You go on and on and on.
It's awesome.
Well, thank you, Tony. We appreciate you today. We love you.
Yes.
Really, you're a gentleman.